Dude, did you know you can subscribe to onlywrestlers.com and keep in touch with your favorite wrestlers? The party never has to end.
This week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed, and you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off.
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Interrupting myself to say I've heard this like my whole career. A wrestler's worst enemy is time off. I've always heard that.
NBA, NFL could work, could be wrestlers. But my answer to that is I don't think so, because other sports, they have seasons, and when they're not in playing season, they're in training season. Where wrestling all year is about everything. It's like nonstop season. So I don't think you would be able to be actively with NBA and NFL and have the time to do wrestling as well.
That's because you're constantly going when you're a wrestler, when it's like,
I think, I mean, I don't know if I understood what you said.
Well, like the Raiders, when they're not in football season, they're still training for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're saying wrestlers couldn't do that?
No, right? I'm saying they asked like if those people could wrestle.
I don't think that was.
Oh no, I think what he meant, Katie, is could pro wrestling have an off season like the NBA or the NFL? That's what I gathered. I think.
Yeah, that's me too. That's
I'm sorry, y'all.
That way, Milestone Comics in Denver is like awesome. That was always like a fucking destination spot for all of us comic readers. And they're reading Marvel comics because they always had a sweet full page ad. And it was always like, man, they have every comic. I can't wait to be there. Way before the internet. Like if you wanted to find a lost comic to complete your series, like you had to fucking dream of going to Milestone Comics. But you could order through the mail, I guess.
Oh, man. I love comic book shops.
No, but so in off season for wrestling, I mean, you wouldn't get the same. You wouldn't get the same fucking energy out of it. I don't think that wrestlers can take time off. You know, here's one of these rules of thumb or expressions in the business. They say that a wrestler's worst energy, and I've heard enemy. Thank you. Enema. I've heard this. I was going to interrupt myself to say I've heard this like my whole career. A wrestler's worst enemy is time off. I've always heard that. And I take that to mean, especially from the wrestlers telling me that when they stop moving, that's when all the pain sets in. That's what I've always heard. They're active, they're bumping every night, they're conditioned to go with it. And then when their job ends or they're not getting booked or whatever, and they sit home, then all of a sudden, then they're feeling all the aches and pains and stuff, and then it's not easy to go back and do it again. I think if they continued their lifestyle on the time off, then it could work, you know. Even for me, like, I mean, I continue to be active on months in between matches. Most people couldn't do that, I don't think, the way that I can. You know, I've always heard people say, oh, I don't know, I'm feeling a little rusty tonight. What about you? No. But I do feel better and more conditioned after day one, especially if you spend like a lot of time off. And then if you like a tour to Japan, let's say day one's the hardest, you know, day two a little bit better, and then boom, pretty soon you're like, okay, I got the hang of it. You feel all the bumps and bruises from that first night. So it would be counter conducive to give wrestlers time off in some ways. But, you know, it could work. But like she was saying, I think they would have to report to a ring. I mean, depending on their experience, you know, at least a couple times a month, if not more, on the time off.
Yeah, because what I was going to ask was like, what if it was just like, so it's WWE, you know, runs year round and stuff like that. But hypothetically, say like WrestleMania happens and then it ends. And so then you have what if the rest of the month of April they took time off and that was like the off season, and then back in what's after May? In May, everybody picks it back up again. Would that something like that kind of work? Maybe just like a lesser time frame. Just that's a little off season in a way.
Like a dark period before WrestleMania.
Yeah, like right after it ends, it's like, okay, season's over, guys. We'll see you next season. It's just once May.
I guess the fans would do what they do when they're fans of other sports. They just find other hobbies during the off season.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
You're not talking about that much time off, 3 or 4 weeks, but really, most of the guys, though, after even just having a couple weeks off, especially if you're going 4 or 5 times a week, like full time, and then you have like even a 2-week break off, a lot of the guys feel rusty that first night back in. They're like, whoa, I just, I got to knock a little rust off, and it's common.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rob, would you attest, and Katie, you can attest to this too. Would there be the fact that people take time off and or that they're constantly going, like about like back in the day, how it was always a ongoing cycle. And now it seems like wrestlers on television wrestle a lot less. Like they don't get as much opportunities to, work the craft and stuff like that. Would you attribute some of those injuries that happen to the fact that they aren't wrestling as much? Or is it just that they're taking more high risk maneuvers that is really affecting it? Or would you guys feel something differently about that?
Do you have an opinion, baby?
I do. Well, I spaced out for a second because our dogs were about to fight. And then I spaced out and then chimed back in. But what I have to say is it could be, I don't know what the statistics are for injuries, but it seems like at AEW or a company that's big and they work a lot, but they don't have developmental, might get hurt more because they're not practicing as much. Where like NXT, like you get everything drilled into you and everything has to be perfect. Everything at WWE is perfect before you do it on TV. So that probably makes for less injuries.
Yeah, I think that's a good perspective. Yeah, because it's like AEW doesn't have that time frame where that developmental aspect of it all. It's like they'll go do indie shows and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't know. Rob, do you feel a certain way too?
I would say the style. I mean, what are we comparing injuries now to injuries?
Yeah, do you think the reason that all these injuries are kind of happening? You'll see a lot of younger guys
years ago, as opposed to a different time period.
Yeah, as opposed to a different time period.
I would say that because the style is so much different. Everybody's a Rob Van Dam now, so everyone's doing the dives and doing the trying to out crash each other. If they're not, fighting the glass or doing death matches, it's. I mean, not everyone is doing a Darby Allin and going out there and trying to prove that they can't die, but they're taking bumps on the steps, on the cinder blocks. Fucking, it's a rough and it's an athletic style. The guys are smaller now. A lot of the bigger guys back in, like when I broke in, well, they weren't doing rolling thunders and fucking moonsaults to the floor, and that shit wasn't really being done. And those really big guys shouldn't be doing that anyway. But now it's more athletic, high risk stunt moves. It's, Katie was saying yesterday that it's a wonder more people don't get their necks broken. And we'll get to that. And I was saying not only just that, but even injured, on this show before, somebody asked me if I thought that CM Punk was, I don't know if it was weak or accident prone because he got hurt. And then I think as soon as he came back, he got hurt again or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was saying, no, I mean, the odds are very high that you're going to get injured. It's amazing that a lot of more serious injuries don't happen more often. And when I think about when I was working full time, man, I was beat up a lot. And I think that a lot of people that weren't me might have called themselves injured sometimes, but I felt like, you know what, if I can get in there tonight and work, then I'm not hurt. And that was my personal policy. Even if I had to hide that I was limping because either a groin muscle in my knee or my ankle or whatever the fuck, always. Ribs, bruised ribs. Oh, it's so painful. It wasn't part of the show, though, you know? They're not paying to see an injured RVD tonight. That's not part of it, which, you know, we'll get to that too. That's also something I want to talk about. I've been having some deep thoughts about this show, man. But let me go back to the broken neck thing. You know, are you familiar with what happened to Chris Bay?
Yes. I don't know exactly what exactly happened, but I knew.
Either. He took some kind of bump, broke his neck, and he's still in Detroit. We want to wish him well here on our show. Super cool dude.
Was at our wedding.
He's a good friend of ours. He's always there when Katie wants someone to film something. You know, he's in town. He was there on our dispensary tours that we were doing on the trolley, and so Katie's keeping me updated on it. And he's stuck in Detroit where the show was, and he can't travel or anything. And we don't know a whole lot about what he can and can't do. But you know, I just wanted to bring that up and say, heal up, Chris. Love to have him on the show when he's able, and we told him that too.
Yeah, he said he'd love to when he starts talking about it publicly.
Yeah, oh, that'd be great. Yeah, best wishes to him for sure.
Yeah, we love you, Chris. Heal up.
Such a talent too. He's amazing.
He is amazing. He's a good person, and his ring and moves are incredible.
I gotta say, like, there's a weird, awkward feeling like of guilt sometimes when I would see Hayabusa and he's in a wheelchair and he's paralyzed, and I would be like, man, he's here tonight watching our show, and I'm going out there taking a DDT off the top rope and spiking my head, and you know, and it's like, I wonder how he sees that, if he thinks like, almost like, am I rubbing it in his face, or, you know, why him and not me? You know, like, there's so many thoughts that would go through my head, and I just like, oh, you know, like, got all the respect, you know, for when same with draws, you know, just like it's I don't know. I almost like I feel bad for encouraging that kind of action by doing it. I don't know. It's weird, you know. It's thankful, grateful every time, you know, that it's not me, but at the same time, a little survivor's guilt.
Absolutely. Well, it's like anything that you do, like whether it's in the ring or even like you see all the people get hurt on the football field or anything like that.
I don't know how I got out of rotation.
It's just it's a whole aspect of the athleticism that comes into play. That's the risk that people take. And oh man, yeah, but it's got to be tough to, you know, when you see somebody like that, and then it's just like, man, yeah, it could happen to anybody.
Yeah,
sure can. Yep,
for sure. Gianni says, "What's up, guys? Happy holidays, Rob. I just recently got the ECW TV title. Bam Bam, you gave you. It's awesome. Just like you are in the ring. I met you guys at Steel City Con. I was a vendor for Ty being cool. How about that?"
Oh, he said, "Thank you for being cool."
Oh, thank you for being cool. Ty for being cool.
But here's the question. Here's the question, though. Where did you? Because to the best of my knowledge, they don't make replica belts of that unless they just started.
I do. Yeah.
Go check upstairs and see.
No, I mean, it's always possible that I'm wrong, but I've only seen one ever that was a replica belt that was like the original ECW TV title that I had, and it was actually bigger than a normal replica belt. Like, it was kind of like the right size and everything, not quite as thick and heavy. And I asked him, I said, they're making these now, because I've never seen one, and he said no, it was specially made. So I wonder
follow up, Gianni, if you're still around and see. Yeah, then
that'd be cool if they made it, you know. But I don't know. It's same thing. Like, I saw it. It's
from overseas.
Yeah, he says it's from overseas.
Yeah, but still, where? I mean, what the fuck does that mean? Like, everything is overseas, you know? Shit, you're sending me fucking searching around the world, the 7 seas. I'm going to Egypt. I'm going to Japan. I'm going to England. I'm going to Amsterdam. I'm probably going to hang out there for a little while. And then we're going to France.
Like the WWE show, Most Wanted Treasures. You gotta you're gonna search the whole globe for a replica of the ECW television championship belt.
That action figure store in Queens, I want to call it Another World, Outer City, Other World. Sorry, Jack, fucking owner. But we do signings there all the time. And anyway, I saw a guy there maybe 2 years ago, and he had a ring. It was the replica belt ring, and it was mine, and I was like, whoa, I'd never seen that before. And man, he walked out, and I kept saying, damn, maybe I should have offered him something for it, and I was thinking about what is it really worth to me. But I actually have his number.
Hit him up.
Hit him up.
I still think about it, but I don't know what
Everyone
is it worth
has
to
a
me.
price.
Everybody's got a price.
Well, him, I'd be wanting to, but yeah, I've never seen it. It's always the one that they replaced that championship belt with, which is the Jamar brand that I defended afterwards, and that's the one that, everything matched then. The ECW heavyweight belt that Paul gave me on WWE TV was Jamar. So the TV title that looked like that and the tag titles, that was all after I'd been defending the title I got from Bam Bam for several months.
The fans are not sure if we're live or pre-recorded, but we're live.
We are live, folks.
It's
live.
7:04 here in Vegas, Pacific time.
We live.
Pacific time. Gianni followed up, said it was from Pakistan, is where he got that belt.
Oh,
We're going to Pakistan.
okay.
Book it.
Book it.
All right, cool, man.
We're going. We're going to find it.
Send me one, Gianni, and I'll sign yours.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I hope to see it.
How about that? That'd be sweet.
Yeah.